It's time for the Court TV portion of our program to get a little deeper into this Duke Lacrosse story. We welcome in the smartest man I know, noted criminal defense attorney Abbe Lowell. Abbe, the DNA results are back and they are negative, but the district attorney says he's going to press forward with the case. So what does no DNA mean?
It means if he's pressing forward, he's going to be climbing Mount Everest. This DA got himself way out front of the evidence, Tony. In any assault case, sexual assault cases included, you have to have more than the alleged victim's word. You want corroboration. In this day and age, DNA is great corroboration. It convicts people and it also acquits people. If there's no DNA evidence, what you have is the word of one person, and in the best case, that's tough. In her case, given that she has a criminal background, that's even tougher. So without DNA, it's a really hard case.
So I take it then you would think it was a mistake that the DA has been very accusatory and volatile in his comments.
For a couple of reasons, Tony. I think it's a big mistake. The first reason is that we sort of cherish the presumption of innocence, and chief prosecutors ought to let the evidence do their talking for them and not just get up at the microphones. It's probably a good reason why people shouldn't run for a prosecutor. The second reason it's bad is that it raised the expectations of the community. And that has created tension in the community, as you've talked about. And then the third reason is that it doesn't leave him any wiggle room. He's basically already said he believes that an assault occurred, and he's pressing forward. So now if the evidence isn't there, what does he do? He's raised expectations. He doesn't have a great case with which to begin, and he's going to end up with a gap between what he said would happen and what is going to happen.
How hard is it to go forth with something like this when you're on the side of a stripper?
Well, you know, the fact that she's a stripper doesn't make it easier given the nature of the business and what the general jury would see of that. But anybody's record makes it harder to have that person be the only person that is going to be the case. If you're saying, you know, whatever, I got assaulted, I was robbed, I was this or I was that, and your case is based on your word and your word is suspect, either because of your profession or because of your criminal record, then it's a hard case to end. And the problem is that without DNA, it's not even that the DNA evidence is not going to support her word. It's now going to be apparently, and we'll wait to see, that the DNA evidence is going to contradict her word. And that's going to be pretty devastating.
What do you make of the fact that it took a while to get to the charges? Did that raise any red flags for you?
No, actually, it's just the opposite. I mean, there was too much talk and chatter and promises and expectations about this case from the moment that the allegations were made. Actually, the DA, the police, and everybody should have just said nothing. And they should have said, we're conducting an investigation, we don't know what happened, we'll wait to the evidence, and we'll make a decision. But by basically putting the cart before the horse, it was that they accelerated all of this into a matter of hours and days when it should have taken weeks. So it's not any red flags that it's taken time, just the opposite. The red flags went up for me when everybody was already coming to their conclusions without seeing the evidence.
Well, Duke did that to some degree. Duke looked at a whole bunch of people in a house and reports of strippers and reports independently corroborated of racial taunting and reports of the possibility of an assault and said, we're canceling the season. The coach is gone and we're canceling the season. In your mind, was that justified on their part?
It was, in my opinion, but let's be clear about what's going on here. There's two sets of events. There are the events, and they were wrong from the get-go. I mean, you know, my college days, we called out for pizza. We didn't call out for lap dancers. And so the conduct of the team can be something by which you discipline the team, cancel the season, have the coach take a sabbatical, because that performance, that conduct is wrong. But the problem was the DA and others equated bad conduct with it automatically being criminal from the beginning. And we don't know that yet. So it's one thing for Duke to say this is not behavior that we condone, and this is not what we want our teams to basically represent. And it's another thing to say it's a felony.
Abbe, you've been a prosecutor and you're now a defense lawyer. You know the minds of lawyers. What happens now? Do you believe that this district attorney will press forward and, in fact, sexual assault charges will be brought?
You know, here's the dilemma. He has put his neck way out there. And I think even yesterday saying that he was convinced a rape occurred. I don't even understand how a prosecutor can ever make that statement without the evidence having been sifted through. Having said that, if what we have is all we have today, that is we have an alleged victim making a complaint, we have the DNA evidence which apparently exonerates the team, no other corroboration, this woman's criminal background and her profession, it would be a very difficult case to bring. Now, on the other side, the prosecutor has said he's doing it. He's obviously, you know, raised expectations. He runs for office. He's a politician. I would think, though, that any prosecutor that was looking at this case fairly, if the evidence is as we freeze it today, would not bring this case. And the reason is it will be worse for the community if it's brought and lost than if it is never brought at all.
Thank you for joining us, Abbe. Thank you.
Bye, Tony.